Well, I already did the intros for Gerry and Nora in the other video. I don't want to repeat myself or waste your time. So, needless to say, I do think Gerry's pretty heroic. I don't think he's the Messiah. I don't think he's the apocalyptic Christ figure, whatever. If you don't even like him as a leader, whatever. But he does have legal standing. That is very important in this game. Do you have legal standing? From what I can see, Gerry does. He has legit legal standing. He just needs the resources to pursue the church in a court of law. And again, I understand people are very emotional about DOA, but if DOA can help him there to raise the money, because money is a factor here, again, I'd have to give a point to DOA. That is very helpful. I mean, that's just how it is. And like it or not, US law especially is very money centric. It is what it is. So that's Gerry, DOA, and Alonzo. Again, don't necessarily agree with them on all things. However, the case that Gerry has legal standing by Alonzo is persuasive. And Nora's response is, "Oh, my mustard! That's the real solution."
Inhumane conditions with no education, medical or dental care, child slave labor. That'll take it away because look what just happened in Florida, guys. That's a forced child labor case that just took down a man of God.
Oh boy. All right. Well, let's try to get through the facts, which Nora's not getting right. Well, first of all, it was North Carolina and Florida. It wasn't just Florida only. So anyway, the FBI raided two self-proclaimed church leaders this week, accusing them of running a ministry built on forced labor, fraud, and abuse. Sounds familiar. According to the Durham County Sheriff's Office, that would be in North Carolina, apparently these two basically cooked up a fraud. Their religious organization, Kingdom of God, was the target of the takedown due to allegations of forced labor, according to CBS News. Taylor and Brannon, the church leaders, are accused of forcing people to work in a call center for the Kingdom of Global Church, where they allegedly told to lie to prospects by saying their charitable donations would go to charity. Instead of charity, officials say the swindle funds were funneled to fund Taylor's lavish lifestyle. On top of the fraud, officials say they psychologically, right, there you go, hurt people. They are also accused of telling workers to apply for food stamps so they could donate food to the church. The duo faces up to 60 years in prison and fines up to $1 million if convicted. You're like, well, there you go. I don't even know where to begin. Okay, for one thing, good or bad, that's not how it operates. I'm talking about the law here, so people need to calm down. David Miscavige would argue he's not doing that. He gets paid a salary. He does not have a lavish lifestyle. I'm not saying I believe him. I'm just saying in terms of the law, he's not getting a direct benefit. Not like the church says, here's your billions of dollars, David. It's not the way it works. Good or bad, they set up a very complex array of corporations where, on paper, he's just an agent. He gets paid a salary, nothing more, no less. We know it's different, but there you go. Also, this seems to be a total fraud charity. Now, we know that's what Scientology is, like Aaron, right? Aaron has a fake charity. It's not a real charity, but this was blatantly not a real charity. They were clearly just, here's your donation, just put it in their pockets. Good or bad, in terms of the law, it is what it is. If you do it through these complex set of organizations, that's a different set of stories, right? Because they could argue, saying, no, we're not just keeping the money. It is going to charity. We are doing something with it. And good or bad, Scientology can prove that, right? They do have workers and volunteers actually handing out food. They actually do some actual real charity work. It's not all a fraud, right? This is apples and oranges. We're not even getting into what Nora's saying. This is just stupid. Nora, there's a difference between a very sophisticated fascist corporation slash fake charity, allegedly, it's YouTube, I gotta say that, like Scientology, the Church of Scientology, and a very blatantly obvious, silly, stupid organization says, hey, we're the kingdom of giving stuff. Give us money. And they just take the money and go on vacation. They are blatantly breaking the law. Good or bad, it's not touching Gerry at all. Right? Those kind of scam organizations get shut down all the time, stupid. You didn't say anything. That's not what's being opposed here. This is a much more sophisticated organization. Oh, it's going to take it down. Jamie in the book said, oh, yeah, they forced a child. That's nice. That's a moralistic point. The question, does it have legal standing? Right? Can it be admitted as evidence in a court of law? You dummy. That is not relevant whether I care about Jamie or don't care about Jamie. The question is, did they break the law? If they did not break the law as the law sees it, I don't have to agree with the law. I'm just saying, as the law sees it, If Scientology is considered a religious organization, a charitable organization, they would say, we're not breaking the law. Those are charitable, voluntary actions. I know that's false, but I have to prove that's false in a court of law. So he didn't say anything. He didn't say anything at all. I can't take Nora seriously. So, I'm trying to listen further, and she just says, "Oh, Alonzo wants some support that can help with Gerry's legal case," and says, "Oh, he's trying to form a Justice League." That's your great legal philosophy. That's your cumulative knowledge of the law. Right. Now, appeal to authority is not a good argument. I'm not doing that. But when I talk about the law, you know what I did? Because you have to do that. You can be serious. You study people like Habermas. You study people like Rawls, Hayek, right? You actually go through actual court decisions. You study the history of the Supreme Court. You study other court systems, right? You get a knowledge of basic legal terms. Study foreign languages. It's just basal if you're going to have serious standing in the legal community. But Nora, oh, you're trying to form a Justice League. So what's your solution? Well, we'll have Jamie's book and like a magical book that'll solve everything. Nora, there have been so many memoirs written about Scientology. Why would this memoir magically be any different? Why would it act legally as the mechanism to destroy Scientology? Good or bad? Again, Gerry could be wrong. Alonzo could be wrong. They have good reasons to think they're telling the truth and they're getting it right. Namely, Gerry was explicitly named. It's not an accident. This is not fiction. Scientology itself is naming Gerry in these legal cases, saying, well, see, he went bonkers. So all this thing about Hubbard being a liar or us being a scam, well, you can't trust him. He's a psychopath. So they're literally referencing him as an unreliable witness. Take away all his credibility, all his expertise. They are saying this. They're saying this. So they are putting themselves into legal conflict with Gerry. What they're using is their superior resources to silence him. This isn't rocket science, you moron. The church has put itself into legal conflict with Gerry. So either he's telling the truth or he is committing a fraud. Gerry's saying, no, I'm telling the truth. I have documents to say I'm telling the truth. Well, there you go. Now we have a legal case. I side with Gerry. He's provided a lot of these documents. They're public. They're free. Go to his website. He's talked about these things. Right? He has literally tons of receipts here. Okay. So guess what? Scientology doesn't want to get into a courtroom with him. They are continuously trying to stop him to get into a court of law. That's kind of curious, don't you think? And your counter argument is, oh, my Justice League and Jamie has a book about the children's. That's all well and nice. Is it legally relevant? It could even be cited in the case that Gerry's making. But those are different things, right? Those are different matters. Good or bad, Gerry can be recognized as an expert in Scientology. He knew Hubbard personally. He witnessed things that Jamie could not have possibly. Same thing with you. You never witnessed these things. He can say he did, credibly. That matters in a court of law. He can be certified, right? Eyewitness testimony can be presented as evidence. What can you say? You say, oh, I definitely know it was a scam, Joey, because they don't like the lesbians. And, they hurt me a lot. And I also find it hilarious that you're saying, no, you signed the agreement. You signed agreements not to talk about these things. Like, this makes no sense at all. Like, what is happening is clear. You, Jamie, and some friends want to form a Justice League, and now you want control and power. Fine, whatever. You want your own little cult. And you're trying to destroy Gerry's reputation. But you don't have anything, so we're just bouncing around with insults. And I don't call this a legal philosophy. This is not, again, whether I like F.A. Hayek or Rawls or Hubbard, or even, God's sake, Ayn Rand and her legal philosophy was just beyond stupid. It was like almost nothingness. However, they're presenting arguments that can be argued in a court of law. You didn't say anything. You're not saying anything. Either you're going to be serious about this topic or you're not. Clearly, you're not. So it's not going to be relevant in a court of law. That's what matters is what is relevant to a court of law, and your polemical little whatever jokes will not suffice. They won't. So I'm waiting for a case against Alonzo and Gerry, but you're not giving anything.